वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा सुंदरा गोमना
भयनाशा हनुमन्ता पवन कुमार अति बलवक्त्र वीरांजनी भवा निरंजना विजयी भव निरंजना विजयी भव
Shiva
सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना जय जगदीश हरे
वदना श्रीकरा सर्वाश्रित अवतार मात पिता गुरुयं करुणीवे भजतनाथा देवा
सत्यरियं दुःखो मङ्गलहारतियं दुःखो मङ्गलगीताय ॐ जय सत्यनारायण नारायण सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ
सत्यनारायण नारायण
नारायण ॐ नारायण सद्गुरुदेवा शान्ति भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् साईश्वर धीमहि साई तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
fullness of devotion to Thee.
in fullness of devotion to Thee.
O Lord,
O Lord,
take my hands
take my hands
and let them work
and let them work
incessantly for Thee.
incessantly for Thee.
O Lord,
O Lord,
take my soul
take my soul
and let it be
and let it be
merged in one with Thee.
merged in one with Thee.
O Lord,
O Lord,
take my mind and thoughts
take my mind and thoughts
and let them be
and let them be
in tune with Thee.
in tune with Thee.
O Lord,
O Lord,
take my everything
take my everything
and let me be
and let me be
an instrument to work.
an instrument to work.
Paramam pavitram bhavavibhutim paramam vichitram leelavibhutim
Paramartha ishtartha moksha pradhanam
bhavavibhutim
idamashayami. Sacred, holy and supreme is Baba's vibhuti, pouring forth in endless stream His way of vibhuti. So auspicious is its mind, it grants liberation. Baba's vibhuti, its power protects us. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. First, we hear Swami's message for today. All the capacities given by God should be used in the service of the divine. There is no need to go in quest of God. God is all the time searching for the genuine and steadfast devotee. Sri Satya Sai Baba, January 13th, 1984. So that kind of devotee Swami sent to us today to speak also. Thank you. Okay, so not so many announcements today. The one announcement that I would like to make is the Satya Sai, the Eternal Companion, for the February 2025 issue, which has the Mahashivaratri. That has been released just yesterday. So it must be on the email, or it must be on its way, or it's coming. But in the WhatsApp, it's being actually released. So the issue features a divine discourse delivered on February 21st, 1974, in which Swami exhorts us not to waste life and to have God as the goal of life. He says we should make God our guide, dedicating all our skills and strengths to Him. In this context, Swami also delves into the important role of Mahashivaratri in intensifying our sadhana of continuous japa to attain liberation, which we chanted now Om Namah Shivaya. An inspiring letter from Bhagavan to Rajagopal, an ardent devotee of Swami, urging us to let God work through us, focus on our own ideals, and not waste time judging others. An editorial, Sri Rudram Part 1. That means Part 2 is coming next month. So Part 1 about the divine Vedic hymn that is remarkable for its phonetic grandeur and universal approach to the divine. By this time, you'd know what he's talking about. It delves into the meaning of the Rudram and the importance Swami gave to it. The editorial explains how and when to chant the Rudram to please Rudra, the supreme omnipresent being who manifests in myriad forms to spiritual seekers. The March 2025 issue will feature part 2 of the editorial, which explains in detail the Namakam and the Chamakam, the two components of the Rudram. Inspiring experiences of 3 devotees from India, Malaysia, and Colombia that show how adversities are opportunities for God to enter our lives. What happened to the young adults? That's not, it's missing. So, the detailed history of the SSSIO School and College in Murwillumbah, Australia, which grew into an impactful institution in the community from humble beginnings, achieving excellence based on the 5 human values taught by Swami. All these things, they're there, and also young adult portion is very much there. It's beautiful, the experience of an young adult, and they have a very nice format and very beautifully done. And the SSSIO education, not only that, we have a SSC part as well. So the magazine has got all components, all parts for everyone, children to the young adults to the adults. So please enjoy. So the regular sevas are going to continue. The one important seva that we have been doing is 2 things. One is the prayers that we do just basically, it's a region 6, region 8, nightly prayers for the CA fire, California fire. Every night as we continue our 21 days of prayers for the local fire victims as well as for the world at large. That's continuing, and there is a Zoom link, and those things have been already circulated by Eric. If you need, then you can also add to the WhatsApp group and share with you. There is also, we do seva at the Pasadena Convention. So more details are available with our regional service coordinator, Saroja. Very pretty detailed. They do a very good job. They do serve the food, and it's really a good service. And if you want to, participate. Okay. Now coming back to our speakers portion, I know the young adults are waiting because Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibirditam kalmasapaham Shavana mangalam srimadatam bhuvi grinatiye bhurita janaha. What does it mean? It's basically we all want to talk about the glory, and we want to share about him, because once we hear him, his glory, all our sins are gone. So this is very simple way to, the stories are always good. And that too, when I see the young adults here, and then I get excited. I'm not an young adult, but I wish. So it's beautiful to see the young adults always in the front and running the show. Thank you. So I have a pleasure to introduce to you Ritesh Reddy. First I go through his bio. Ritesh was born into a Sai family and is an active member of the SSSIO, Fremont Center, but he cannot be located just only in Fremont because it's International Zone 1. So not only US, Canada, Trinidad, Tobago, and a bunch of countries around that. So He has served as a Center YA coordinator, regional YA coordinator, and is currently serving as the Zone 1 YA coordinator. He just, boom, came up. He is actively involved in other areas of the organization, such as IT and media-related projects. He is inspired by the connection that the Sai young adults have with Swami and the service activities they are engaged in. Ritesh is discovering his own connection with Swami. He has obtained a bachelor's degree in computer science and is a software engineer in the Bay Area, California. He's very silent. He doesn't want to show. He doesn't say anything much about him. But we had to push and pull and get all this bio and somehow make everybody, I have something to speak about. But really speaking, people cannot be private anymore. The Google will find, and then you put everything will come out, and from Google you'll find who is Ritesh and all the private everything. So nothing is private anymore. So please don't be silent and try to hide. Ritesh, the podium is yours.
Oh, that was quite an introduction. Saram, everyone. Loving Sarams to everyone, all the elders, young adults, and the kids as well. So nice to see everyone here. Before I get started, I just want to complete the announcement. The young adult portion of the magazine also includes a wonderful set of activities that the young adults have been doing around the world. Special note is a experience shared by a brother from Mexico, how he discovered Swami at the age of 16, went to see Swami in 2007 in the World Youth Conference. It's a must read. I won't share more details because really it's a very heart-warming and touching story, actually. So with that, I would like to start by first expressing my deepest gratitude to Swami because he gave me many opportunities in life to think about him, and through this speaking session, it's yet one more opportunity for me to go back and reflect what it is that he is in my life and where I was and where I am now and all the different strings he had to pull for me to actually come here and be here. It was really a very different experience looking back at my own life, and I'll tell you why actually. But I just, even one of the smallest experiences, I was just in awe at him because I didn't know how to respond to all the grace and the love that he's continuously showered on my life and the lives of those around me. So my story begins like most others. I was born on earth. I was born into a family that knew of Swami. So my family in India, we knew of Swami. And we were actually, I was born and brought up in Whitefield, Bangalore, which is very near, if many of you know, the Brindavan ashram for Swami in Bangalore. So I was pretty close by, not very far. In fact, so close that Bal Vikas was just a regular part of my actual school. I did Bal Vikas. I learned Swami Suprabhatam, shlokas and everything as I learned math, English and everything else. Nothing was really like out of the norm for me. Thursday evening, the last session, it's Bal Vikas, go with my friends, learn a few shlokas, come back. Right, so this was my sort of introduction to Swami, an introduction where I learned about him and got foundations from him without really acknowledging or like having a conscious effort in doing so. So this is my stage of unconscious bliss in knowing Swami. And years went by, and I was given many opportunities, I would say, actually, to be a part of activities. In fact, I was luckily chosen to be one among 4 students from a whole school to sing for Swami in the Akhanda Bhajan in Bangalore in Vrindavan. But what did I know? I was just, playing in the list, doing my, singing my song, and I was like, can I go now? Can I go now? Can I go now? Right? Like I had no idea of the value of what I had been given at that time. So time passed by, and my family moved to Jamaica. At the age of 12, so we all moved to Jamaica. So that's my other Zone 1 connection. So Jamaica is also part of Zone 1, right? Not so close to Trinidad, but part of the Caribbean. There, I didn't have the opportunity to continue Balavikas. I went into, my regular school studies and everything. My parents would still attend satsangs. And every so often, Guru Purnima or, big festivals where we'd have food, I would definitely be there, right? I definitely attended center and such. So these were very early stages where Swami was taking care of me by giving me the right environment, but he never really came into my immediate awareness. We would have his picture in the altar. My parents would be like, devout to him, but like at the same time, my brother and I, we would be like, yes, Swami is there, great. Let's go on and get on with it. And everything changed in the next phase, actually. And that was probably my sweetest phase. At the age of 21, I had the opportunity to go to London to work. Right? I was very young, just turned into a young adult. Had no idea what a young adult was, by the way. I didn't know anything about the organization. I didn't know anything about any of the programs, nothing, right? I just knew who Swami was, and sometimes we sing bhajans, that's it. His message, what he meant by, like the 5 values, or even like what did he tell the young adults, nothing, I had no idea. I land in the country on the 17th, and my work starts on the 19th. And for some strange reason, I was like, okay, I'm going to find a center and go on the 18th, which is a Sunday. So I show up to the center the first time in London, and I cannot tell you why I went to center. I cannot tell you what drew me there. I spoke to nobody. I sat in the back. It's a beautiful altar of Swami, right? And it was a band hall room, so they had very high ceilings and also high windows. 4:30 p.m., London, the sun is setting, it's October, right? So you could see beautiful streaks of light on Swami. And all I did was look at him and look at him and look at him, right? I knew a few bhajans from my background in having gone to Balavikas and everything. So I could sing a few, in chorus, but just sit at the back. And as soon as bhajans finished, I got up and left. 3 weeks, I did the same thing. I would come, I would go. I would come, I'd go, not interact with anybody. And then in one of those weeks, I actually saw the light go straight from his eyes all the way to his heart during the session, actually. And for some strange reason, I'm just going to share, I'm going to be very honest with you. I cannot tell you why these things happen, but I'm just sharing you my honest experiences. I can't tell why, but I just felt that this is it. I want to be here. I want to know. And I just felt an immense flash of love. I can't explain it in any other way. And ever since then, I was just always interested in like knowing about Swami more and learning about him. And it was just him and me. Imagine I was completely free, right? No parents, no anything. I just had my work, Swami, and me. Work, Swami, and me, right? I would just love to spend time with him in my altar at home. Every Sunday I would be in the center, right? Just because what else would I want to be doing? It was so blissful to just be there and be active, be part of it. Thursdays, there would be Seva. So it would be like Seva. I got involved in Seva without knowing, this was a whole part of this thing. People just said, oh, we do this thing. I was like, cool, let's do it, right? Let's just go and do it and figure it out. That's really how I got started learning about Swami's message. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, I should learn a little bit more, right? So and at the end of the center, they would have a small book stall, and they would lay out the books, what books you'd like to take and what you'd like to carry and such. The first book, there were many books, Swami's, very famous ones that you're all aware of, but there was this one pink book with no pictures in it, right? It's a small pink book, and that was the book that drew me the most. And the title of that book is A Guide to Active Service Workers in the SSSIO organizations. I don't know to this day why it is that Swami made me choose that book, because that's a very different book for an introduction to Swami, right? It's really a book about what are our duties and responsibilities as his devotees in the organization. That's really what that book was about. And I remember reading that cover to cover, right? And life was going on, I would just enjoy my time. It's so blissful, right? It was just me, Swami, and this, me, Swami, and this. I look back, many times at this, and I'm like, why, Swami? I was next to you in your physical form, right? Not very far, actually, right? But to tell you the truth, I have no memory of ever seeing Swami. Like, I cannot remember seeing Swami. The last thing I remember is a small, faint orange robe in Sai Ramesh Hall in Vrindavan when I was maybe 8 years old, all the way at the back. Right? I went with an adult, my grandma, and then they separated us. And I was like lost. I was like, didn't know what to do. I wasn't focusing on Swami. I wasn't focusing on this. But in 2015, after Mahasamadhi, right, Swami made me find him again. I've never really felt a loss for never having interacted with him physically, because I always feel that he's always been with me in my heart, and I can still feel him to this day, right? Like that's my source of strength, actually. And so life was going on blissfully, enjoying. The young adults were amazing. I learned so much about music. I learned so much about, not that I play an instrument or anything, but like I loved just how young adults arranged everything. Seva, study circles, that was one of my favorite too, actually. I loved going to those in the center. So I would take up any opportunity to be in his company and his association. Right? That was me when I started. So I think one day in May, I walk into the center, and I think the center finished, and we were all wrapping up, and the young adults are talking amongst themselves, about something, and then they call out to me, Ritesh, are you coming to Parthi in July? I'm like, Parthi? Why? Well, the World Youth Festival is happening. I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm coming. Because for me, right, I already had what I knew. I didn't know anything about what was going to happen in Parthi. And on the other side, I was very, very used to Swami, me, and comforts, okay? It's like I wake up, I clean my room, I light the lamp, and I sit with Swami for an hour with no interruptions, right? I don't want any distractions. I don't want any of these things. I just want to be with him. So for me, I was like, do I need to take a 10-hour flight all the way to Bangalore, then go to Parthi? What am I really going to find there? I was very hesitant, actually, initially. I didn't want to go. And then somehow they convinced me. My parents were still in Bangalore, so I decided, hey, why not? I haven't seen them in like some time. Let me go check it out. And to tell you the truth, I think that was really Swami's doing, because that festival, that meeting of young adults, changed a lot for me. I went from the unconscious, bliss to a point where in London, like, when I was starting my journey with Swami, I was more conscious about my bliss. I was, like, yes, I want to be with Swami. I want to be with Swami. I want to be with Swami. And I was filled with a lot of contentment and gratitude, right? I was like, Swami, you've given me so much. But I still wanted more of just him. And that's how I, like always was pining after him, actually, right? Just like, thinking, sleeping, any time, I was always focused on Swami as much as I could in those years. Then I realized, when I went to Parthi for the World Youth Festival, for those of you who don't know, there was a World Youth Festival in 2016, of all the young adults in Puttaparthi, and there were approximately, I think, around 4,000 young adults from around the world representing, right? And you can only imagine what it was like for somebody who's never seen that kind of energy. The sincerity, the devotion, the discipline, all the things that Swami speaks about in his young adults, I could see there. The skill, right? But also the empathy and the way in which they execute things. It was just phenomenal. I saw a way to express my gratitude to Swami, because until then, I had all this gratitude. I was like, yeah, Swami, I love you, I love you, I love you. But what is it that I could do in my own small way to ever repay any of that to him? And that's when I saw all the young adults show me, like, multiple ways, right? They were actively involved in the organization. They were actively involved doing things, following his message, right? Then I understood what the difference was in terms of like just being to yourself and to what the quote said today, right? About using all your capacities to serve. They exemplified that for me. So the festival was held over 3 or 4 days. one of the days I was like, oh, I need to learn more about Swami, so I'm going to, after lunch, walk over to the bookstore. So I go over to the bookstore and I find, obviously, at this time now I know, okay, there's something called the Vahinis that Swami has sort of, written and then being compiled. There's a set of books that I should read to know more about Swami's message. And so I knew, and I picked up all those books, right? I was very happy. I was like, oh, look, all these books, I'm just going to get all of them. And then there are a few books that I just glossed over. I didn't actually look at them. And one of them was titled Omnipresent Sai. And this was a book about small and very short stories, maybe a paragraph or two, of how Swami showed his omnipresence to various people. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. For me, the magic of Swami was, yes, in his divinity, but also I experienced him in more like a very loving, always, his miracles never surprised me. It's divine. It's like part of him. I don't ever see it as amazing thing, right? I expect it, to be honest with you. That's another aspect of me. I'm very entitled with Swami, actually, right? It's just it's him. What else can you, expect? So I wasn't really for it. But then a random person who's working in the bookstore while helping somebody else, just said, hey, take a look at this book. And I was like, sure, I'll maybe do that, right? Then I walk away, I spend 20 minutes somewhere else, come back, and some other person, not the same person, not even looking at me, said, hey, you might like this book. And I didn't know why, two people would tell me that, hey, you get this book. So I sometimes follow what happens, right? I don't question too many things that happen around me. So I ended up buying that, getting that book, and I'm walking back to my room to put the books in and to go back into the program. The afternoon program is starting. It's a wonderful music program, actually. I get to the room and I realize, oh, I can't find my key anywhere, right? And all of my roommates, friends, everybody have gone to the program, and I know I can't carry these books there, so I didn't know what to do. So I decided, okay, fine, I'll just listen to the music from here, wherever I am. And I am just going to, maybe sit down by outside, because I couldn't even go inside, right? I was outside. I actually so I was sitting outside, and I was like, okay, what do I do? Okay, let me just pull out a book. And I pulled out the first book, which was the Omnipresent Sai, because that was the last book I put into the bucket, right? And then I didn't realize why, what was happening. I was just in the moment, enjoying Swami's experiences as well. It changed my life. It was a young adult who had come from a very far distance, towards the northern part of India, actually. It was a young adult who, just casually came by and just started talking to me. I wasn't really open to talking to anybody. I was very shy and introverted. I was just reading a book on my own. This young adult came up to me and just started talking, just saying hello, hi, how are you, where are you from, and everything. And then so we exchanged some pleasantries, and then he tells me he's from this part of town. It took him about 48 to 50 hours to come there by bus, right? He doesn't even know Swami. And he said he came because a friend brought him here. So apparently where he's from, all the youngsters often get into bad company and bad habits very easily. So one of the friends in the group who knew Swami said, brought him and a few more, just so that this environment can be a change and something that they can grasp onto. So he was just telling me his story and how, and for me it was the first time, right? I was pretty young, in my very early 20s, hearing about something like this. I was like, what is life like? And then in that moment, for a second before I started listening to him again, what I said to myself flashed into my head, right? I was like, I was complaining about taking a 10-hour flight to come to see Swami, in Parthi, but here's somebody who's taken a much more arduous journey, right? Without even knowing Swami by then, but by this time, imagine, I told you, Swami had given me so much of his love and everything, right? So it set a lot of things in perspective for me, meeting certain young adults. And so, we continued the conversation. He was interested in that book, specifically the Omnipresent Sai. I told him what it was about, because, for you, when you're far off and you're going through a difficult situation, you can imagine the hope and the love that, you sort of experience when you hear the stories of Swami being everywhere can be so meaningful and profound. And so I offered him the book, but he said, no, it's okay, tell me where the bookstore is, I'll get it. And soon after, I think, everybody came back, and so we sort of dispersed, and I sort of forgot this instance, but I still remember the most impactful thing that happened to me is about, it cemented a sense of gratitude that I should have. Not really about the material things that Swami has given me. Yes, that's truly incredible. But Swami has given me himself in many ways, right? Like his knowledge, his message, and through all of you, a great Satsang, this organization, right? And that's to be cherished to no extent, actually, right? And like, I resolved many things in that particular thing. But being a very naive and very, comfort-seeking young adult back then, that was not enough. So there was one other thing that happened in that very festival that changed my life. The young adults had set up a beautiful game. It's called the Game of Life in that festival. It's a room filled with different, partitions that depict different stages of life of a young adult. When you are early in your studies, when you are, choosing to go either to study or to pursue higher education, jobs, to get married, to have families, all the situations that young adults face. And it spoke about what did Swami say in terms of his guidance in each of these stages. The creativity of the young adults must be like, I love that. That's what drew me to everybody. I come here to learn from everyone, right? Like the beauty of Swami and the love of him shines through everyone. And I hope a little more brightly with the young adults, right? Like that's what I see. It's new age stuff. So the way the maze works is that you get to exit once you finish the entire journey. And you get to make decisions. What do you want to do at a particular point in time? One of the questions was, you're now ready. So your center is offering a role. Would you like to take it up, or would you like to pass on it and go somewhere else? Me, I didn't want any responsibility. What are you talking about? Like, I had Swami already. I was fine. Responsibility is not my thing, right? What did I even know about the organization, first of all? Right? Nothing. I passed over, so went, right? Went around a couple more rooms, and then somehow it brought me back here. I had to take the same question again. I was like, again, I decided not to go and try to find different paths. I wanted to explore the entire maze, whatever it is, right? The third time when I got it, right, I realized I wasn't able to exit without saying yes in that moment, right? So I took that as a very strong message in that moment that Swami was telling me that when responsibility comes my way, I should fulfill it, right? And I resolved that, yes, Swami, like you gave me everything, you've given me yourself in many ways. What is the little I can do in terms of gratitude? And then I resolved that day to come back and essentially like accept any role that comes my way. And it took me some time, much more after that, right, to get into like, actual roles. But the roles did not stop me. I was never stopped by the roles. I always took an active step because I wanted to like, fulfill that promise that I made to Swami, right? The fun fact is, years later, I met people that designed that game because, of course, now I know so many of the young girls, right? And they told me, Ritesh, that game was never designed to force anybody to do anything. Right? And then I looked back at the game and then I found that, wow, okay, it was just for me that happened, right? It didn't happen for anyone else. So the World Youth Festival really taught me a lot of things. I came back, still, reeling from my, do I really want to get up and go out and do SSSIO, or I just want to sit with Swami, or go to bhajans, or just sit with Swami. Those were my two options always. And then I moved to the States at some point, and I was like, I didn't know anybody. I just had me, myself, and Swami again. Right? For a good 9 months or something like that. And I was just never getting involved in anything. And then reading Swami, I read a quote somewhere. If you ask me to reference this, I'm not sure if I'll be able to. But this is essentially the quote that drives my life today. Right? It's the one thing that as a young adult, as an adult, I'm sure I will always be holding, I'll be able to hold on to. And it's around, many young girls will have this question, what should I do with my life? What should I aim for? What are the right things in the world, right, that are worth achieving, right? And somewhere I read that the joy that you cause in the heart of God is the only worthwhile achievement, right? And for many of us, that may mean different things. And through our own journeys, we will discover that, right? And for me, the way I discovered it, and that really helps me in my life, forget just here, but every sphere of my life, is I feel Swami, if for me, he would be happy if I'm useful, right? He's given me everything. What can I do? how can I be useful, right? That's the simple mantra for me, how I can try and cause joy in the heart of my God, right? Our God. How can I be more useful? So since then, I've always, tried to take proactive steps, and these proactive steps have let me meet people who are in their own spiritual journeys, who have become my mentors, who have become, my fellow travelers on the spiritual journey, and have really pushed me more and more, right? Like, what more? Swami always asks, what's next, right? How can that be part of my life? How can I, when will Swami be happy? When maybe we can answer what next even before, right? Like he asks what's next. How can I become that person in my own personal life? And that's sort of what I've taken up as my mantra to get closer to him, right? So this is supposed to be about my journey to him. And I wouldn't say it's always easy, because you don't know what the right thing to do is. But by following this and, trying to always, whenever I have choices to make, what is it that's going to make Swami happy? What is it that is going to give joy in the heart of God, right? Is it me sitting and, chilling with Swami in my own, private space, or me actually using everything, my intellectual skills, my physical skills, anything that Swami has given me in his service to reflections of him around us, right? Whether it's nature, whether it's people, whether it's animals, whether it's anything. So a lot of things to me started making sense, right? What was his message? Why is it so consistent? After some experiences that he gave me through like this. It was first experiencing, then actually understanding, and then following through, right? Unconsciously, I just had fun, Swami took care, gave me opportunities. Consciously, he gave me a lot of love and filled me with an immense sense of gratitude. And from that place of gratitude, I derive my strength to, what can I do, Swami? And that's been my journey so far, and that's what keeps me connected to him so much, actually, right? Whenever I feel disconnected from Swami, I just do say one thing. It's like, Swami, I feel like I should be doing something. Should I be doing something? Are you going to give me something to do? And believe it or not, it won't even take days, for sometimes hours, right? I'm going to get some opportunity through his grace to get involved in his work. And that's actually how I know so many people in so many different places, just because I've always been praying to him to make sure that with the skills that he has given, he has to be the one that's also in the driver's seat to make sure that the skills are used, right? I don't know if I have my own abilities to do that, but I just want to be along with the ride with him. That's all. Oftentimes I look back and think, what was it that, what part of it was me and what part of it was him? And it's probably always him, because if it's up to me, I don't know if I should say it on stage, I just want to sit with him, right? I don't want to actually do anything. But doing something is the only way that I feel I can even repay a small person. I can't actually, right? What he's given me in his life, which is himself, right? That level of awareness of Swami, just knowing him is a gift alone for lifetimes, right? I can't imagine life otherwise. So what can I do for him? I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. So my story is one that I think Swami made that's filled with gratitude. And from a source of gratitude, everything else started coming out for me. What should I do? Why should I do it? Any of those things, actually. Even my purpose in my life comes from that, right? Why do I want to seek to do any of these things? Is because I owe it to Swami. Swami has given me everything himself. The most valuable thing in the planet, right? Universe, beyond universe. Nobody gets this opportunity to know Swami like that. So we're all blessed, I think, and have the same opportunity. And the funniest thing is, he doesn't really ask, right? He doesn't ask anything. In the years that I was in London, whatever it is, he never really asked. It's really, oh, you're having fun, okay, enjoy, be a good person, follow the 5 principles, be calm, be blessed, right? But what can we do? He calls us his properties. What is it that we can do in return? And those are the kinds of questions, I guess, that sort of drove my journey, and that's why I'm sharing them with everyone. Once upon a time, I was a very intellect-driven person, reasoning and rational and all those things. And so I landed up in some of these situations. Oh, if this is so, then this must be so. And like, I would follow it to the T actually, because it's an opportunity not to be missed. And yes, so that's my journey so far. The journey continues because it never ends with Swami. The love that he has for all of us is immeasurable. What we do with it, he doesn't even ask for it. It's really all up to us, actually, right? Like whatever we feel. And my feeling was that I wanted to live my life in a way that made him proud, because he's always happy, right? I want him to smile and then just say, good boy, right? Nothing more, right? Because what else? We cannot give him anything. And that we can maybe give him, which is to tell us good boy, which is also something for us. Again, as I said, I'm very entitled with Swami. Like, I take him very much for like mine. So thank you all for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I wanted to thank Swami, thank the Sai Prema Nilayam team and Region 8. This is the first time I've ever shared my story. My story, I've listened to so many stories, but I never thought that like there's anything very extravagant or anything about my story to share, because it was always just like, I went to the center that day, I connected, and I never looked back. Never really looked back since that day. So I don't know if there was anything I did or it's all him, but just wanted to share that story with everyone. Sairam.
Wow. So the journey, everybody is now going towards Swami, I believe. So the most important thing is, young adults, be ready. I'm going to talk to Ritesh, and then we have work for you. You cannot shy away from responsibilities. He already told that. If you're working 4 hours, please double it. If you're working 8 hours, please double it. If you're working 24 hours, double it. Anyway, it's so amazing. Thanks a lot. Very, very inspiring. So we have a small gift for our guest speaker. He's coming from Northern Kerala, and it's an international team. So we have a small gift. I call upon Dr. Niranjan Patel, our chairman of the management committee, to give it to him here.
Young adults, sisters and brothers, Om Shri Sai Ram. What a treat Swami has provided us today. Brilliant, illuminating. It's like a flood coming out from his heart. What a wonderful, wonderful presentation, Ritesh. Thank you so very, very much. As a small token of our appreciation, I would like to present this on behalf of the SSSIO Society of America and Sai Prema Nilayam. Ritesh. Do any of you know that Ritesh works for Google? All what he has said is so fundamental, so basic, so foundational, so important for all the young adults. And I would like to try to summarize this in just a couple of words, Ritesh. Google. If you split the word, it's go ogle Swami. That is the goal. So young adults, as Ritesh has emphasized so eloquently, so beautifully, lots of things need to be done and you need to be up to the task. Swami's mission depends on you, on each and every one of you. People like Krishna, myself, Sister Rani, Greg, all the management committee people, all the committee people, everybody, all the younger adults who are above 45, we are all simply a supporting cast to support each and every one of you, the young adults, to carry Swami's mission forward with strength, with vigor, with dynamism, with insight, and with inspiration. Please rise to the challenge and bring joy to Swami's heart. Sai Ram.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Niranjan Patel and Ritesh. Now I have to thank our Torrent Center, which hosted us and is beautiful lunch and service and beautiful. Thanks a lot. And one more big hand to all the young adults here today, because they all here, they have some programs and they're going to go on to the Pasadena Convention and then go serve, and there's a lot of activities. Thank you, and we will have the food prayer. Sai Ram.
Brahmarpanam Brahmaharir Brahmagno Brahmanautam Brahmeva tena gantavyam Brahmakarna samadhinaha Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashvitaha Pranapanasamaयुक्तः Pachamyannam Chaturvidam